We're back, ladies and gentlemen, with another edition of the Worst Case Scenario podcast, and we're here to talk sports, especially the NFL free agency. I'm your host, Phil. With me is my boy, D'Lo. Say what up, D'Lo.
What up? Coming to you live from my cancer ward.
Oh, goodness.
And my boy, Bennett. Say what up, Bennett.
Hola.
Man, free agency is kicked off today. Now, officially, as we know, it doesn't go effect until Wednesday, but Monday they start the legal tampering period where they sign all the deals. So, but man, we had some action right out the gate today, gentlemen. And I'm trying to think of which one you guys want to start with. We can also go on some of them that happened earlier, like the Max Crosby deal. But I think one of them that really blew my mind was the Indianapolis Colts re-signing Alec Pierce to a 4-year, $116 million contract.
Oh,
shit. That was huge.
Yeah, D'Lo, tell me what you think about the Colts re-signing him. And you go ahead and get into one of the reasons why they did it with trading away Pittman to the Steelers. Yeah. But what's your opinion on this, D'Lo?
I mean, he's been their most productive receiver the last couple of years. But that's a massive contract, bro. I mean, that is crazy expensive. And you pay that guy what, $30 million a year or whatever it is that they're paying him, and they're wondering why Daniel Jones is coming at him and saying that he wants $50 million a year. You know what I mean? Like, he's the one getting him the ball. So do I think that Daniel Jones is worth $50 million a year? Hell no. But you know, it's just the name of the game, man. You do something like that, you give a guy that's dependent on somebody else getting him the ball this massive contract. Well, the guy getting him the ball is going to want the massive contract. So, yeah, I just think it was a massive overpayment, and I think it's gonna come back to hurt them trading away Pittman, man. And you putting Pittman up there with DK on the other side in Pittsburgh, that makes them dangerous, but they got to have a quarterback to get them the ball. So,
what did they give up for him? Do you remember? What was the trade for?
No, I think it was like a 4th or 5th or something like that.
Bennett, what do you think about Pierce getting $29 million annually from the Colts?
I really like Pierce. I actually like Pierce more than I did Pittman last year. I know they were both injured a little bit, but it just seemed like Pierce was more in the clutch. Like, he was better. He found a way to get open on third downs. I would have kept Pierce too. You get rid of Pittman, you probably get rid of some cap space. I don't know what he was getting paid. You get a draft pick for him, but that money that Pierce is getting, that's a wide receiver one. And do I think Pierce is a wide receiver one? I don't. I really don't. He's a clutch guy. He knows how to get open. He'll catch some intermediate routes. He converts big on third down, but consistently, so if you're going to pay money like that to a guy, you got to check a lot of boxes. Maybe not all of them, but you got to check a lot of boxes. Is he a deep threat? What's his route running like?
Well,
like
Bennett,
I said,
let me ask you this, Bennett. Let me ask you this. Do you think that Pierce is a product of Pittman usually being the guy that's being covered by the number one cornerback?
I don't think that's the case, because Pittman almost always lines up on the outside, and Pierce would line up multiple different ways. So I don't think that's going to hinder him. A lot of times Pierce is in the slot. So I don't think that number one corner lining up over him is going to make a difference, because he gets moved around so much. So I don't think that's the issue there. Like I said, if you're paying a guy like that, though, you want him to be a playmaker. And I don't know if I would call him a playmaker.
Last year for the Colts, he had 47 receptions for 1,003 yards, 6 touchdowns, averaged 21 yards a catch.
Yeah, like I said, the Colts games that I did watch last year, he seemed like the most.
How many receptions? How many receptions did you say?
47. Had 1,003 yards. He
That's
averaged
crazy,
What the hell
man.
is
That's
that?
that 1,000-something yards. Usually, guys they'll get close to 100 catches before they'll get that. So he had a big
70
average.
He's probably going to get you 1,000 yards. So he
his
has
average.
Yeah.
average.
His average was actually down from the year before when he had 37 catches for 824 yards, but his average was 22.3 yards a reception, and he had 7 touchdowns the year
So
before.
maybe they're getting Pittman out of the way to make room for him to be like the main guy. But they're going to need other stuff to put around him.
Well, Pittman had gotten his big deal a couple years ago, and so they had to shed that salary. Man, it wouldn't have worked paying both of those guys big money. So,
How many games did he play, Phil? Does it say that?
Let me see. Yeah, it will. Hold on, give me a second. I'm bringing it up.
Because the Colts you got Jonathan Taylor, you got Ty Warren, you got Pierce, and there's another receiver there. Only reason why I know is because when Pittman was down last year, there was another guy that got some substantial snaps, but nothing that stands out. So, I mean, you really want another playmaker somewhere in there to go. And you want another wide receiver to go along with Taylor, Ty Warren, and Pierce.
He had 15. He played in 15 games last year. 15.
Oh, so he played most of them.
Yeah, but he was held without a catch in one of them. So, but nothing. It's insane because nothing really it jumped off the paper at me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he only had last year. He had 2 games where he had over 100 yards.
yeah, I mean his game-to-game stats don't seem great, but his game stats don't seem great. But go ahead, Bennett.
I said, it's those stats don't jump off the page like you said. It's like a big time playmaker, but you're paying him playmaking money. I mean, you didn't want to lose Pittman and him, but man, you wish you could have got a little bit better, cheaper deal for him, maybe.
He's definitely a deep threat because of his average and things like that. And what jumps off the paper at me is the fact that he's got about half the catches that a lot of other people have, versus getting 1,000 yards. Like I said, a lot of those other people come close to 100 catches at 1,000 or 1,200 yards, and he's getting it in half the catches. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, but again, then you look back at the 6 touchdowns, and that could be multiple things. It's not a lot of touchdowns to play in 15 games, but they're, with their quarterback situation being jumbled up last year.
I think that Jonathan Taylor ate up a lot of the goal line time, and also they got that big tight end there, Mo Alley Cox or whatever. That dude.
They got the new one. They got the new one.
Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren, yeah.
Well, here's the thing. He's only 25 years old, so he's relatively young. He only scored in 4 games. He had 6 touchdowns. In 2 of those games, he had 2 touchdowns apiece in each of them. He's tied. Last year, he was tied second in average, but he was tied 73rd in receptions. So, that lets you know where it's just like.
But I mean, it also sounds like he's the one that was. He was the one ripping off the big chunks of yardage to get him down the field.
Yeah, but can he do this now? Because he's going to be considered the number 1 there. So, is he going to live up to the expectations that they pay him? Because when you're paying somebody $116 million, that's a lot of money. So, but all right, let's move on to the next big one. The reigning Super Bowl MVP. Kenneth Walker III signs a 3-year, $43 million, 28.7 of it guaranteed with the Kansas City Chiefs. Bennett, what's your opinion on Kenneth Walker III being the new lead back in Kansas City?
I think this is a huge deal for the Chiefs. I think it solidifies the run game as long as they straighten out their offensive line. Kenneth Walker, he didn't stand out a lot during the season. He was consistent. He got real popular. Charbonnet went down late in the season, and he got real popular with everybody with how he performed in the playoffs, which was excellent. But I think it bodes well for both of them, for the Chiefs and Kenneth Walker. The Chiefs really needed a run game. I think he'll provide that for him. Of course, you're going to have to give him somebody else to spell him, like on when he gets tired, whatever. And what they have there right now, I don't think that will do. So they're still going to have to do something in the draft. But as far as a starting running back, I think this is exactly what the Kansas City Chiefs want and was looking for. I think they got their guy in Kenneth Walker.
Dylan, what do you think about Kenneth Walker going to Kansas City?
Well, I mean, just like Bennett said with Alex Pierce, when you pay a guy it's going to transfer over here. When you pay a guy $14 million a year, that's running back one salary on the high end. And so, the only thing that scares me about Walker is that he split a lot of carries with Charbonnet. And I mean, it showed come playoffs. He was fresh, he looked good. But how's that going to look if he's carrying the load all year and come playoffs? Will he still be that guy? I mean, the good thing is who's Kansas City's other running back? Is it Rashee Rice or whatever?
No, she writes a receiver.
They've had a couple. They had Hunt.
Clyde. He's come and go, but Elaire, Clyde Edwards-Elaire.
No, they had somebody else.
Pikachu. His name was like Pacello or whatever.
Pacheco. Yeah. Yes. If they can get him to stay healthy and be a good change of pace back or something, then Walker can be a success story. But if Walker's got to be that guy all the time, I fear that he's going to wear down and he's not going to live up to that $14 million a year.
It's still a step up from where they were. Pacheco, their run game was just god awful last year, which was just another reason why they were bad. You can't get that run game going. You're not going to get that passing game going. I don't care if it is Mahomes. Kelsey was, as you could see, he was aging and everything, but you got to have some kind of run game to take some pressure off the pass protection. They just didn't have it last year, and that was one of the reasons for their demise. I feel it was like, I think that was the main reason for the demise was they didn't have a run game.
Well, that's one of the reasons that I when we talked last season, I said that Joe Thuney was one of the Bears MVPs because you look at what his absence did to the Chiefs offense. You know what I mean? He was the leader of that offensive line as well, and they just didn't gel last year.
Yep. Here's one. I wanted to bring this up because this isn't necessarily one of the biggest names, but he got a big contract, and that is the Panthers signed edge rusher Jaelan Phillips. Does that name pop out to you guys?
Yeah, he was with the Dolphins. He really only had one good season with the Dolphins. He had been injured
he spent last year with the Eagles.
He got traded to the Eagles from the Dolphins. And
did you see the deal he got?
Yeah, $113 million or $24 million, $120 million. Yeah,
for 4 years, he's never had a double-digit sack season, and yet he's making $30 million a season. That's insane.
These contracts, man, they're nuts, bro. Like, and I understand that these GMs are like, a lot of the times in these like 4-year contracts, they're really like 2+1, and you can cut them on the 4th year with nothing hurting all the guaranteed money's already been paid, so you can cut them on the last year. So it's really a 3-year deal, or if it's a 3-year deal, it's a 2+1 and things like that. But the inflation of these contracts is nuts, bro.
Okay. Bennett, here's one. Me and D'Lo talked to some about this one. But this is a big signing. The Raiders looking to draft Mendoza. They went out and got what many consider the best center in free agency, and they signed Tyler Linderbaum to a 3-year, $81 million contract. What do you think about the Raiders trying to shore up that line before they draft Mendoza?
Well, it's not just shoring up the line with them trading away Crosby and then prospected to go ahead and draft Mendoza. I think the Raiders are doing this right. Sucks to lose Matt Crosby, man. The guy is one of, if not the best defensive player in the league. But if you're going to go get a rookie quarterback, you don't want the best defensive player in the league. What you want is a solid line. So this was awesome for them to do, I think. I think he's just going to help Mendoza's transition even more. The Raiders are probably going, if they're going to be this smart, I'm going to go ahead and say the Raiders ain't the same old Raiders, and they're going to kind of be smarter in the draft. They'll probably go after some more offensive line. They'll probably go after some weapons for him. They'll probably steer clear of the defense and just see if they can right the ship at the offense, and get by with what they can with defense, and see if they can't put some points up on the board before they start upgrading that defense the following year. Right now, they just probably want to make him feel comfortable, which is what you would want to do if you're going to draft a quarterback number 1 overall. Let's make this guy feel comfortable when he gets in the building. Let's get him a good offensive line. They got Gianti, which totally did not work out for him the way that everyone thought that he would last year. I thought he was going to be a 5-star player coming straight out of the draft, and he just wasn't. And everybody kept waiting week after week, just waiting for him to pop off. He finally did against the Bears, I think in week 5 or week 6. And I don't think he popped off again until like week 11, week 12. He did not have like a strong year for what you considered him doing. But you want to go get offensive line. You picked the playmaker, Gianti, so hopefully that works out for you. They have a tight end that they drafted from Notre Dame, Mayer, a couple of years ago.
Yeah, they got Bowers.
They got Bowers, yeah.
They got Brock Bowers, but they got Michael Mayer, which was he was hurt all last year. Brock Bowers is a phenom. So then you can start working on some other stuff. Like I said, more of the offensive line, which is if they're smart, which I think they're going to do, they're going to go after more offensive line. And then you can start piecing together playmakers and defense and just give the kid when he comes in his best chance that he can have.
Well, they got more draft picks after doing the Crosby deal. They got 2 extra first-round draft picks coming up, probably this year, next year. So, and Linderbaum is only 26 years old. So, I mean, he's young. He can hold that team together. He's getting, $27 million per year. But it's a center. You know what I'm saying? A guy that's you're going to have a rookie quarterback back there.
If you'd have talked to me about the Raiders 2 days ago, I'd have said this is dumpster fire. This is worst case scenario. Again, that's no pun intended. But worst case scenario for this kid to be going into Mendoza. That's 2 days. 2 days ago. Now you trade away Crosby. You get 2 first-round draft picks. You sign the best free agent center. And now all of a sudden things ain't looking so bleak as what they were 2 days ago. It's crazy. It's how the NFL works, though.
Well, they also added a wide receiver today, Naylor, former. I think he's with the Vikings.
Naylor from the Vikings.
Yeah. They signed him to a deal today too. So
he's just a piece in the cog, though. He's not really. He don't stand out or nothing like that. Not saying he's not a scrub by any means, but he's a role player.
Yeah. Well, all right. We'll move on to.
Well, hold on. I want to comment on this Linderbaum deal. After that deal got signed, it made me thankful that the Bears did what they did when they went out and got Bradbury from the Patriots. Even though Bradbury's probably a high teens, low 20s ranked center in the league, I looked at some of Linderbaum's stats and tape and shit, and he is a good run blocker. But he struggles in the pass blocking, dude. And so as much as Bennett was talking about them building up the line, you're going to have to put strong pass blockers from the guard out on both sides, and they're going to have to help Linderbaum in passing situations, or Mendoza's going to get his ass beat next year, and it's
Phil,
going to be right up.
Can you look up and tell? Can you tell us who the Phil or for the Raiders depth chart right now is for like guard and tackles?
Yep. Hold on.
Because they at least got to have one guy, right? They had one guy at least last year on the line that was the starter worthy. You would think, right?
I mean, you would hope so. We'll see who they got. I don't. I don't know. I know they released a left tackle last year. I don't know. He got into some shit with the coaches or something, and they ended up cutting him or something. Or maybe that dude was a defensive tackle. I'm not sure, but
so on the roster now, what do you want to know?
Who's the guard and tackles? The starters, projected starters.
Okay. You got Alex Kappa is the guard. They got several guards there. They got one of somebody they were moving over to guard. Maybe it was a former center. Maybe it's Will Putnam. But they were talking about moving one of them over. There's a Curtis Antonio Mafia, Dylan Farham, Lyndon Robinson,
what's
Taylor
that,
Rogers.
Do you know any of these guys, D-Lo? I don't.
No, I don't. The only one that I've ever heard of was Kappa, and I think they brought him in on a deal, and he's only getting paid like, I don't think his deal's big. I think he may be getting like $5 or $6 million a year or something. So
is it safe to say the whole offensive line needs restructured around Linderbaum?
Absolutely, yeah. Especially bringing in a rookie quarterback. Like I said, not only do you need to help Mendoza out, but you need to help Linderbaum where he lacks, because they just set the record for the highest paid center today with paying him, and he really does. He lacks in the passing game, man. He lets those nose tackles get through way too much, man.
All right, let's go. Let's go get yourself an offensive line.
Raiders also added. I can never say the dude's name right, but it's a former Colt, Kwity Paye.
Yeah, Kwity Paye.
Yeah.
They added him today. There was somebody else. They had Lockett. Lockett's there, playing receiver for them. So, but I mean, they're trying to make some moves. They are, but we'll go to the probably one of the bigger quarterbacks that traded today. Malik Willis signs with the Dolphins on a 3-year, $67.5 million, $45 million fully guaranteed. Dila, what's your thoughts on him going to the Dolphins?
I'll tell you what, man. Malik Willis reminds me of what was the Packers quarterback that came in and played those few games and he ended up getting signed to, I believe it was the Seahawks, to a big deal.
Yeah, I think he's going to go there. He is nothing like that.
Not Gino.
Dude, he was not good down in Tennessee, and then he comes up to the Packers and he plays a few games for Jordan Love when he goes out, and he does pretty good, and now he's getting rewarded with this massive contract.
That's not a massive contract. That's not bad for a quarterback.
No, no, you're right. It's a bridge quarterback contract.
They seem to be high on him there.
They seem to be high on him everywhere.
It's what?
I said they seem to be high on him everywhere. Like Dilo said, I'm trying to think of the guy that Dilo's talking about, but I can't remember his name.
I wanted to say
was
it
in
was
the-
Matt Castle, but it wasn't. Matt Castle was
No,
with the Patriots.
He only played a couple games at the end of the year.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Damn, what was his name, man?
I think he was a black quarterback, wasn't he?
No, he was a white dude.
Yeah, Brad or Brett or some shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, dude, you didn't even he got a big deal from Seattle, I believe it was, and he never started for him. Whoever they
Honestly, I don't
drafted.
remember ever playing a game after that.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, they gave him like a $30 million or $40 million deal, and he never started for them.
All right,
So
while Phil's looking that up, here's what I'm gonna say about Malik Willis. Last year, he came in at around halftime, the second game of Bears and Packers. I think it was like week 15, something like that. And he shocked the Bears and put a little something on them. Well, all right. Well, if you do that, the Bears were prepared for Jordan Love the whole time. This guy came in a totally different game plan. This guy's running, scrambling, throwing on the run. I mean, Jordan Love throws on the run, but he wasn't a threat like Malik Willis was. The Bears didn't have a game plan against it. So they got chewed up by him. They still
Okay, I'll give you a bet.
Hey, D-Love, his name was Matt Flynn.
There you go. Matt Flynn.
Matt Flynn. Yep.
Yeah, Malik Willis is not.
I'll give
Matt
you a bet.
Flynn.
I'll give you a better comparison, Bennett. I hold Malik Willis in the same regard as I hold probably a Jacoby Brissett or a
I'm okay with that.
yeah, somebody like that, man. Who was that guy you guys had? Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's about where I see Malik Willis.
Teddy Bridgewater?
Sure.
Yeah, Teddy. I actually I hold them guys higher than Teddy Bridgewater. He's been so, but them guys at least I feel like if you put them in and install a good game plan, you can feel like you could win a game.
But that's what I'm bringing up about Malik Willis. Malik Willis, there's not been a lot of tape on him. Like you said, there's a few games back in Tennessee when he was terrible. He looked significantly better under LaFleur for the few games that he played last year, few games that he did play. Like you said, there's not a lot of tape to go off of that, but he did look good, but mainly he's like scrambling and third down conversions, which also helps when you're scrambling and getting around. But I like the move because it's not a lot of money. When you look at quarterbacks, that's not a lot of money to pay for a quarterback, even a bridge quarterback.
Right.
It's not bad. So he'll probably fit in their scheme. He deserves another chance for what he did at the end of the season last year. He deserves another shot. So give it to him. And will it turn out? I don't know. Like he showed some flashes. He really did. He showed some flashes last year. So we'll see where that goes. Now, what they put behind him, that's the difference. When you get you draft a quarterback, and that's the guy you're putting behind, you tend more to put stuff behind them, as in playmakers, offensive line, stuff like that. When you get a guy from free agency, and you see this, and you kind of don't give him so much, it's like we're not building a team around you, we're building a team, and we're hopefully that you fit in. And that's what you get with sometimes these free agent quarterbacks.
Well,
I don't want to spend a whole lot. Good.
When they go spend that big money on a free agent player, they're expecting them to come in and like Linderbaum, he's getting that $81 million. They're expecting him to be the anchor of that offensive line, and like I said, I truly believe that if they become a pass first team, that Linderbaum's not going to live up to that contract and he's going to let him down. He's going to allow Mendoza to get his head rocked a few times.
I'm going to say some of them if you guys don't feel the need to talk about them, but this was just another one I wanted to bring up about them throwing money, and that's a Titans signed wide receiver, Wan'Dale Robinson, to a 4-year, $78 million contract.
What?
Yes. He's going back to play for Duval, Brian Dayball, and they feel like his numbers are going to go up. But 4 years, $78 million for Wan'Dale
Somebody's
Robinson.
internet's lagging. It might be mine. Hell, I don't know.
I'm not sure, but I just wanted to bring that up to you. This one is a little bit more of a bigger. This was the Saints signed running back, Travis.
Hello?
Say his
Hello?
name, D'Lo. You hear me? You hear me?
Yeah, what's happening now? What was you asking? Yeah, I hear you now.
I was going to say his last name. Saints signed running back Travis Etienne.
ETN.
ETN to a 4-year, $52 million contract. Takes the Saints out of running.
And they had
Go ahead, Bob.
They had another running back down there that was splitting carries with who's that running back
Kamara.
they had there for a while? Kamara.
Kamara.
Yeah, they had another running back down there with splitting carries with Kamara. And so I'm wondering if they're going to keep ETN and that running back and let Kamara walk or get traded or whatever it may be.
You're talking about Devin Neal, the rookie from last season.
Yep.
But that's 4 years, $52 million. That's that's a lot of money for him. That's how I felt with it. So
me and Bennett were actually talking about it, and we were like, man, like he would be a great fit in Ben Johnson's system and things like that. But and we're not gonna we have so many other needs, and we still have DeAndre Swift and who's our backup running back, Bennett?
Manungai,
yeah. And so we still have those two guys, and they're good and dependable. DeAndre Swift had a good year last year and things like that. So we're not going to go out and spend money that we don't have on the running back position when we have so many other needs right now. Bennett, I don't know if you heard, but the Bears just re-signed Braxton Jones to hold up for Ozzie until he's healed up.
That's not bad. That's not bad. That's all right.
Yeah, they gave him 1 year, $10 million. So,
Gardner Minshew, this just came up. Gardner Minshew signed with the Cardinals.
yeah, I did see that. So he'll be competing with Jacoby Brissett down there because they're releasing Kyler Murray. So,
Yeah, it's already a done deal there. Some of the shit nobody cares about because it's like I am reading that essentially all of Tyler Linderbaum's contract is fully guaranteed.
oh shit, man. Ooh.
I mean, that's how the Raiders do business, though.
But
Yeah,
they
it
paid
is.
out because they signed linebacker Quay Walker to a 3-year, $40 million deal. They signed linebacker Nakobe Dean to a 3-year, $36 million. They gave Naylor 3 years, $35 million. They gave that Quiddy Pay 3 years, $48 million. They signed a cornerback, Eric Stokes, to a 3-year, $30 million deal. So I mean,
They came into the offseason with like $150 million of cap, and they're spending like a motherfucker right now. So,
Hey, Phil, let me ask you a couple questions.
yeah.
How do you feel about the Brees Hall tag on the Jets?
I've talked about this. That I just he's got the surgically repaired knee. He's wanting big time money. So what you just saw that the Saints gave Travis that money, that $53 million, whatever, $54 million. He's going to want something like that. And the way I view it is, if they don't, they're going to pay him $14.2 million this coming up season. He's been online because the Jets have made moves today too. And so he's been online talking shit, saying, we got a lot of money we spending out here. I hope, you know what I'm saying? And doing the laughing emoji faces. So it's just like, at this point in time, I would regret that we even fucking use the franchise tag on him because he's showing right now that he's not being a team leader. You know what I'm saying? If we're not going to get Mendoza, then I'm okay with us drafting the best overall athlete and the best talent in Jeremiah Love. And so you could replace Breece Hall with Jeremiah Love. You got him for the next 5 years. You're not going to pay him anywhere what Breece Hall is asking. And both of his knees work really great. And I'm a fan of Breece Hall, but Breece Hall has times where he just disappears. If you ever had him on a fantasy team, he has those weeks where he does excellent and he'll get you the big points. But then there's times where he just disappears. And so the way I'm looking at it is I love the dude, but he wants too much money on a surgically repaired knee already. I wouldn't have hit him with the franchise. Maybe same thing that the Colts put on Daniel, the transition tag where we got the right to refuse, like the bet. But it's just one of those things where it's a
Whatever happened to
risk.
that cat that you guys had, that Bryce Brown or whatever? Or whatever it was that was right. He sat behind Breece Hall, and when Breece Hall went down with an injury, he had some good games.
Yeah, he came in like the year after him or 2 years after him. I mean, they're still there.
He went to Cleveland.
Which is funny because former Jet Quincy Williams did sign with Cleveland today. He's the little brother of Quentin Williams, who went to Dallas. We traded him to Dallas last year. He was a free
He's
agent.
a linebacker, ain't he?
Yeah. And so and he was good, but his shit had went down. And it kills me when these players, when their stats and shit go down, and yet they still want these big contracts. And it's like, dude, I truly believe anymore the NFL should really be bonus heavy on everything. Like, you want to get paid, go out there and produce. This guaranteed contracts is killing it because once the guy gets that, what is he working for besides to win a Super Bowl? And if he doesn't feel like his team is, they start mailing it in.
Why are you talking about the NFL? I think the whole U.S. economy should be like that. It should be like production-based driven to where if you do your job better than others, you get paid more than the guy next to you because you're better than him.
Or you got a harder work ethic to drive. Because listen, I mean, there's people that want it more. They're willing to go in and work on the weekends
As
and
we're
do all this
watching
extra
Leo eat chips.
That's hilarious. It's going through.
I'm
Leo
going with my
said,
GoFundMe money.
Leo said, give me state minimum. Just keep sending it.
Like I said, I'll run down some of these. You guys can talk about them if you want to. I'm just shouting some of them out. Like the Panthers, they signed Kenny Pickett to a 1 year, $7.5 million deal, $4 million in guarantees. The Seahawks re-signed Rashid Shaheed to a 3 year, $51 million, 34.7 of it is guaranteed.
I don't understand that deal because this year they're going to have to pay JSN probably over $100 million. So they're probably going to end up cutting ties with Shaheed before it's all said and done.
Yeah, it's like I said, I just see some of these, so I just wanted to shout them out as we were going along. I don't know if you saw Kelsey and the Chiefs agreed on a 1 year, $12 million deal with a max value of it is $15 million.
That was his one last, like, we love you, dude. We're going to give you one last year, but after this, you either need to retire or you're probably going somewhere else.
Gardner Minshew's deal with the Cardinals is a 1 year for $8.25 million contract after he backed up Mahomes last year.
Hold on, Bennett. I don't know if you heard, but the Jets traded for the Dolphins. I want to get your opinion on this. The Jets traded the Dolphins for Minkah Fitzpatrick, which they gave up a 7th round pick for him, which I was like, that's not a bad deal. But then as soon as they got him, they signed him to a 3 year, $40+ million deal. And I was like, he was struggling with the Steelers when he was there before they traded him to the Dolphins.
I think Mika is an excellent player, or at least he was. Now I have question marks all around him, so I don't know if I'd have done that. Maybe the Jets went through some protocol there with some doctors or something to make sure his health was all right. I mean, if he's fully healthy, yeah, he's one of the bigger playmakers in the league. But that is odd. That does strike me odd that all that happened like that.
Yeah, because what they give him about 13 or almost 14 million a year, dude. That's pretty heavy for a dude that's got question marks around him like that.
But I mean, that sounds like the Jets don't have question marks around him. They think that they seen the player that we seen 3 or 4 years ago, and maybe that's what they do see now. I don't know. All this stuff's underlined. Like, we just guess. We're out here as fans. We're just guessing. These guys actually like do their homework. They test these guys. They take these guys with fucking blood sugar every hour for all we know. You know what I mean? Just to like see where they're at. But it's a high stakes game. But for the Jets to offer that, I mean, then again, you would think that you have all these like doctors and everything at your disposal, where you, like I said, you could take your blood sugar every hour. But sometimes they got a guy in their locker room. They don't even know he's having a fucking stroke. So, and the Jets would be one of those locker rooms that I'm talking about. They're not like coherent. They're terrible.
Tuabasa, or not Tuabasa. What is it? Tua is planning on signing a 1-year deal with the Atlanta Falcons.
There you go.
So what's that mean for Penix? I hear that they're gonna cut.
Penix is out. Penix is out.
I mean, they only gave Tua the vet's minimum, which is 1.1 million. But what kind of shot of confidence is that to Penix, man?
Because he'll beat Penix out.
Yeah. Yep.
He will. Penix is not good.
They were high on him. And they still have Kirk Cousins there.
Which they're talking about cutting him. They figure he'll get about a 1-year, $25 million deal. That dude's the biggest hustler in the NFL, man. He's made so much goddamn money in this league.
He got some stuff to back it. But if somebody gives him 1 year, $25 million this year, then yeah, he's a hustler. But he got some stuff to back the other shit. But no, I wouldn't give that guy a fucking can to piss in.
The Bears brought back their quarterback, Keenum, on a.
I know, that's crazy. They didn't need that guy. Was he?
No, but they would have had to. They would have had to draft somebody, and because I got a feeling that tomorrow or Wednesday that Bagent's going to be traded.
That's the only reason why you would want to do that deal.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm looking at because some of these
the Bears signed Deion Bush from the Cleveland Browns. I got him on a 3-year, $30 million deal. So that's going to push TJ Edwards back out to the Sam linebacker. Deion Bush will be our Mike. And then I guess the guy that we re-signed might play Will.
Jackson?
Yeah.
Dude, he came in and fucking was a playmaker at the end of the year last year.
Yeah. I'll tell you who I think is an underrated signing today. It was the Bucks getting Alex Anzioni from the Lions.
Yeah.
I like that dude as a linebacker, man.
Well, we didn't even talk about Evans, wide receiver Evans left Tampa Bay and signed with the 49ers.
Yeah, he did.
So that was a big one. John Franklin Myers, a former New York Jet defensive end, he left and went to, or he got traded or left, one of the two, and went to Denver. He signed a 3-year, $63 million deal with the Titans.
See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that he'd gotten picked up yet. That's crazy. We also got a defensive tackle today from the Colts. He's a rotational guy, but he had like 3 or 4 sacks last year for the Colts.
Let's see. Yeah, that Butch, that guy you was talking about, who played with Cleveland the last 2 seasons. That's not a bad deal. You guys paid him $10 million per year. That's not too bad. The Commanders had signed a defensive end, Hawaii, something like that. OW.
It was a dude that he played for the Ravens and then he got traded to the Chargers, and he actually started playing decent for the Chargers, but they gave him $25 million a year, and I think the dude only had
4 year,
4-year
$100 million.
Yeah, and I think the dude only had like 3 or 4 career sacks.
Nothing is out on the 49ers on the deal that Evans signed there. But I'll tell you what, were high.
It's 3 years. I know that. They gave him 3 years.
So far, one of the best deals that they liked was Kobe Bryant going to the Chicago Bears on the 3-year, $40 million deal.
I like the deal, but it makes me nervous because now Byard is going to want that kind of money, and we're not going to be able to afford to pay him that kind of money. And Byard has been a critical piece of that defense since he's been there.
Man, Dotson is still playing in the league. Former Eagles wide receiver Jahan Dotson.
Johan,
the Falcons. Yeah. 2 years, $15 million deal. It could be worth up to $17 million.
Hey, we haven't even talked about it because we're doing all the current stuff, and like this is days later. But this is a major thing, and I think both you guys should talk about it. With Crosby going to the Ravens, Lamar being influential, the Ravens trying to get back on top. No Harbaugh there anymore. Now, who they get? Was it McCarthy? They didn't get McCarthy, right?
The Steelers did. Steelers got McCarthy.
Yeah,
no, they got their former defensive coordinator. The hell was his name? Munchak or something? Maybe, I don't know.
Munchin.
No,
Are you talking about the head coach? You talking about the head coach of the Ravens?
Yeah, I thought it was Jesse Minter.
Mentor, yes. Yep.
Jesse Minter. It came from the Chargers from Harbaugh.
Yep.
So who's running the show there? Is it Minter or is it Lamar Jackson? Because it looks like Lamar Jackson.
He gets what he wants.
I don't know, because they said early, right after the Super Bowl was played, they said that there was talks that the Ravens might be considering trading Jackson away. So
yeah, that was all bullshit.
I remember even calling Phil and saying, you guys are you're gonna get Lamar Jackson and shit. And he's like, fuck that. So
yeah,
so what do you think about that with Lamar Jackson and Crosby, the Ravens' new head coach? What do you think they do next year? Phil.
Not shit.
Not shit. They're trying to get back to being what the Ravens were, which the Ravens used to be the number 1D. That's what they were. And they stopped the run. They always had a good running game. At times, I seem to think that Lamar Jackson causes more headaches than what he's worth. But he runs for a lot, and then he'll throw. I feel like he throws against weaker teams. He can run against just about anybody, but Crosby is a huge deal going there. That really does. Him alone coming there, that defense was always, like last year was kind of shoddy, but I think he's going to shore up a lot of the issues that they have there. And don't be shocked if at least next season they're back to being a top 10 defense in the league.
What do you think, D-Ron?
I mean, I think that their defense is going to be better. I agree with what Phil said. They still got some issues in their secondary, so they'll still be able to get beat over the top and things like that. But that ain't going to be their issue. Their issue is going to be the fact that their goddamn quarterback turns into a goddamn turd in the playoffs, and he'll get them right back to the playoffs every year, but he ain't going to do shit when he gets there.
Here's my thought. And I don't think they go back to the playoffs. I think they restart. I think it's a new coach. They need to get cohesive again. I don't think they do that this year. I think that they thought they got the best playmaker on offense in the whole league, which they don't. I think that they got the best playmaker on defense in the whole league, which they might. And I think that them, and like egotistically, they just like, we're a fucking solid team. We're gonna do this. And now you ain't got Harbaugh there to pull you together. Now you got a new guy, which I like Mentor. You got a new guy though. He's got to deal with egos. Lamar Jackson, you are an ego, sir.
Yeah. Well,
if you want to help your fucking team out, stop being an ego. You're not LeBron. This ain't the fucking Cavs. This ain't the Lakers. That's not how the NFL works. You keep doing the shit that you're doing, you won't make the playoffs for the next 8 years. I don't give a fuck who you bring in.
tell me what you think about this. Jackson Dart and let's just say this, for instance, Cam Scatterboo and a first-round pick for Lamar Jackson. Because Harbaugh's the
Why
coach.
would you do that? Why would you do that? You be okay with that, Milo?
No, I wouldn't.
If I was the Ravens, I would.
Yeah, if you were the Ravens, but the Giants, I'm talking about the Giants. Hell no. I don't want Lamar in my fucking locker room. I like Scatterboo. I like Jackson Dart.
John Harbaugh's the coach, though, man.
John Harbaugh don't want nothing to do with Lamar Jackson.
I don't know. He always said he was the best.
25% of the reason why John Harbaugh left Baltimore was Lamar Jackson.
He said,
possibly.
Scatterboo.
I was just thinking of somebody that might be able to step in and because Derrick Henry's getting old, man. Like, how many more years of solid running do you think that dude's got in him? You know what I mean?
Lamar Jackson ain't concerned with that. He ain't concerned with that. He'll deal with that when it comes time. He likes Derrick Henry. He likes Zay Flowers. He likes fucking Crosby. You know who else he likes? AJ Brown. They ain't going to get that deal done now that the Crosby deal got done.
Yeah, they ain't got the picks to do it.
But he'll force it. I'm telling you, this guy is a team wrecker. He's like an Aaron Rodgers 2.0.
Yeah, I can see it.
He wants his players. He wants who he wants.
Well,
you know what I tell him? I'll fucking start from scratch. I'll be a farmer in the fucking field, plot my own fucking field, plant my own seed of grass, my own fucking corn, and all that shit. You get the fuck out. You ain't in charge of shit, Lamar.
Well, Bennett, you asked about how
money. I paid you enough money to go buy your own arena league, motherfucker.
Right.
Bennett, you asked about Max Crosby going there, what that does. Last year, they ranked 30th in sacks. That's what their defense got. They ranked 30th. So right there, he's going to come in because he's going to get some sacks. And even if he does it, he's going to get double teamed a lot. Other guys are going to be able to get in there. They're going to go up from that because the only teams that was worse than them at getting sacks was the Jets and the 49ers, which the 49ers is kind of shocking compared to some of the guys that they have on defense there. So, but yeah, no, I think Max Crosby makes a difference in Baltimore.
Phil, you was just talking about that Mike Evans deal. 3 years, 60-point-something million, man. So he's getting about a little bit over $20 million a year.
And how old is he?
I think he's like 32. 32 or 33. Yeah.
Well,
so they're gonna play him till the end of his career. I mean, I don't even know if he's still got three productive years left in him, but he's a different kind of receiver because he doesn't rely so much on his speed and shit like that. He relies on his size, and that ain't going nowhere. So
that was some of the bigger stuff. There'll be more out tomorrow. Of course, they still say like the prize. A lot of
so
people
what?
say that
What was your biggest surprise today?
I don't know if it was. Well, in all reality, I believe it was the Colts paying Pierce as much as they did. I think
can see
that's
that.
paying $116 million. That's my biggest surprise. I'm not against them re-signing him and paying him, but god damn, dude, you paid him a lot of money. He hasn't for somebody that hasn't produced. He doesn't have the stats for somebody that's making that kind of money.
Yeah.
So I believe that was probably my biggest like holy shit. And then I think maybe I'm a little shocked by Tyler Linderbaum going to the Raiders. Just because a lot of guys, when they hit free agency, they want to go to a winner. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I think that the Raiders came in so strong and so far above everybody else that he was like, look, dude, he's 26 years old. He signed a 4-year deal. So he's gonna be a free agent again by the time he's 30 years old, and he's making $81 million here, dude. So he'll still be able to get another big deal if he produces in the 4 years in Las Vegas.
But my insight, I mean, yes, they have Genty, yes, they have Bowers there. They don't have Crosby no more. But the hopes of drafting Mendoza and them changing that around, I could see that might be appealing to him. But I just wonder how many contender teams out there hit him up. Maybe it could have been a whole thing of teams just didn't have the money to bring him in. But
I believe. Yeah. I just don't believe. I believe that that Las Vegas came in head and shoulders above other teams as far as the money they were willing to give him. You know what I mean?
You just don't see too many guys that hit free agency at that age that's at that top of their game like he is and chooses to go to a shithole. No offense. Like that. That's like him signing with the Jets.
Shithole. It's a black hole.
Well, no, they left the black hole in either LA or in Oakland. They're in Vegas now, but it's just one of those things where a lot of times we'll see guys that'll take less money to go win multiple championships somewhere else. Like I
think my biggest. Go ahead.
No,
I was going to say I think my biggest surprise today wasn't even a signing. It was somebody not signing. I figured that they were going to come in strong for Trey Hendrickson, and because pass rushers are at such a premium, I figured he was going to be one.
They're saying he was like the golden egg of all this.
Oh yeah, and so he got to sit back and watch what everybody else got, and now he's going to get to come in and be like, I want more than that dude. I want more than that dude. You know what I mean?
What do you think he's going to get, Bennett? Do you think he's going to get a contract that's like $140 million?
I mean, one of two things. They took this long to get the deal done because he's going to get paid so much, or they took this long to get the deal done because he's not going to get paid nowhere near that he thought he was going to.
Yeah, he's pricing himself out. Yep. That's what the word is right now, is that he's expecting about 35 to 36 a year, and teams are looking at him like he had an injury last year that took him out. I mean, yeah, he had 8 sacks before that injury, but it still wasn't the 2 seasons before that where he got over 17. And
do you see
they're
him
like
signing a smaller deal? Do you see him signing like a 2-year deal?
I'd say 3. I'd say 3. He's 31 years old. So I'd say he's probably going to sign a 3-year deal. Probably, man, I can see it being as high as like 115, 120, something like that on a 3-year deal, man.
If you think that he's You think he's looking for 30 million per year?
I think he's looking for higher than 30. They said he was pricing himself up to 35 and 36 million. His agent was
Okay.
talking that.
So then why would he just
So-
take a 1-year deal to play somewhere?
Because he knows he ain't gonna make it past the first year.
Yeah, see, I think he knows it as he's probably starting to break down, and I mean, at 31 years old, and you're coming off of a season-ending injury last year, he probably has a good idea where he's standing, and he's probably like, I need to maximize right here and get as much guaranteed money as I can. That way, even if they cut me, they're still paying me.
But he's just coming off his rookie deal, isn't he?
Oh no, he's been franchise tagged twice. Now I don't know if it was his rookie deal before that. I don't think that he even start in Cincinnati,
I don't know. I'm
or did
looking
he
it up real quick.
did he get traded there?
No, he started in Cincinnati.
Okay,
Oh shit, he's 31 years old.
Yeah, that's what
I
we've
didn't
been telling you. That's what I've been
Yeah, I thought
telling
he
you.
was still in his 20s, man.
now he's 31, Bubba.
He did not start
That's
out
why-
there. He did not
I
start
didn't
out in.
I
He
didn't think
started
so.
out. He started out with the Saints,
Okay,
and he came in the league in 2017.
so next year he'll be in for 10 years, man. Well, after this season, he'll be in for 10 years.
There's
that's,
other winners and losers that we've not talked about, but for the people that we talked about, who's your biggest winner today, Phil?
Uh,
That we talked about.
that we haven't talked to. I don't know. We try to fit.
No,
some
that we
in
have
there.
talked about. We have talked about.
You know, I would say it's probably the Ravens defense for trading for Max Crosby. That's not a free agent pickup there, but yeah, I think that their defense wins based on bringing him over. But yeah, I'll tell you, there's a lot of winners in guys that are getting some contracts that are
Yeah, we're not talking about that. We're talking about teams.
If you're looking at teams, you know, the Raiders did go out and they did trade away Crosby, but they turned around and they invested a lot of money back into that team. And
Yeah, they did.
You got to respect that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
Yeah.
it could
So
be.
you like the Raiders? You like the Raiders? Who's your biggest loss? The Colts.
Just that's to me. That's I'm not saying that he's a bad receiver, Pierce, but I'm just like, shit. You paid him so much money. There's other holes on that defense or on that team that you could have slid into, and I just don't paying that much money out to that wide receiver. Yeah, I would say right now they would be. I mean,
Fair enough.
we might look back, but we might look back and say the biggest loser was the Dolphins for bringing in a guy who had a small sample size in Malik Willis, and they paid him that money. You know what I'm saying?
they got him at discount. They got him at discount for a quarterback.
Yeah, but
I mean, they spent some money, but they still got him at discount. D'Lo, who's your biggest winner, biggest loser today?
You know,
That we talked about.
Yeah, I got you. As soon as you asked that question, I almost thought that I was gonna say both of them being the same team because, you know, with the Chiefs bringing in Walker and doing things like that, it's definitely going to help their offense. But they also turned around and traded, what was it, McDuffie or whatever his name is, to the Rams a couple days ago and things like that. So I was like, that's going to hurt them. But no, I think that the biggest winner of day one, the illegal tampering period, because the actual off season doesn't even start until Wednesday. This is just the legal tampering period. I'd say the biggest winner was probably the Raiders. Like Phil said, they went out, they spent money. They're trying to improve that team. They're trying to put some better players on the field for Mendoza and things like that. And the biggest loser, man, I hate to say this every fucking year, but the Jets, man. Why would you go out and sign Minka to that big deal? You've sent some of your players away. You paid Breece Hall that big money. I just think they're making silly ass moves there in New York, man. And it's like I just
Now
don't
realize
understand.
he's only 29 years old. Fitzpatrick is only 29 years old.
But he's you go back and he's been in the league probably 8 years, I bet, and he's been through the ringer in his career, dude.
I hate that you had to say the Jets like that. Like I'll tell you what, I'll give you. I think it was smart what the Chiefs did bringing in Walker. When you realize this, Walker came in the same year as Breece Hall. Breece was the first running back taken. Walker was the second running back taken. He cashed in on what he did, but I think he's a solid running back. I think he's going to do well in Kansas City. I don't know if a team or whatever. I don't know. He's had injuries, but if you pair him up with Kamara, like that could be, if they're not leaning on him every down, that could be something good down there. But I'll tell you what, there's some of the losers might be some of the teams that didn't come out and do anything. I didn't see Buffalo come out and try to build that team up after appearing in the AFC Championship game again. They didn't do anything.
They got DJ Moore.
Yeah, they got DJ Moore early on.
All right.
Another move that we didn't talk about today, which is actually a big move. The Dallas Cowboys traded for Rashawn Gary from the Green Bay Packers for a 4th round pick. That's a big move for Dallas's defense, man. Gary's a good pass rusher, man. He's not what he once was, but he's still solid, man. And if they bring Clowney back, they got 2 formidable guys on the edges, man.
All right. Some other teams, though, like after making that run, the Broncos, they lost an edge rusher, you know what I'm saying, from that defense. They weren't out there making any moves. The Steelers being, once again, handcuffed with Rodgers waiting for him. They did bring in Pittman, but you got no quarterback. You got nobody there.
I just seen it come across the thing that when once that trade is complete, they're also re-signing Pittman to a 3-year, $60 million deal, so he'll get $20 million a year.
All right, but you have nobody there to throw the ball, so you've already moved yourself up from. You made the playoffs, so they're picking somewhere in the high 20s, in the draft pick. They're banking once again on Aaron Rodgers coming back because of Mike McCarthy being the coach there and everything else. But they're really relying heavy on him, it looks like, to come be the quarterback. And it's just weird because they don't – you added Pittman, which was nice, and you already had who was the other guy there? Who's the other receiver that was there, D-Lo?
DK Metcalf.
Okay. So, I mean, that could be a nice 1-2 right there, but you have nobody to throw the ball to you right now. But I think it would have been smart for Pitt. I think it would have been smart for Pittsburgh to go out and pick up a guy like a Gardner Minshew in case Rodgers doesn't come back there. You got a decent bridge quarterback. You know what I mean? I think the losers, though, are the teams that didn't do anything and they're losing. I think like Seattle. What is Seattle doing? They just won the Super Bowl, and you got guys leaving, but you're not out there trying to bring anybody back in. And that could be, because you're strapped. You signed a bunch of guys last year or whatever. But I think it's the teams that didn't do anything that you would have expected them to go out and try to do something, and they didn't do anything. They signed Quincy Williams for the Jets, but they didn't. But maybe for once, though, this is a good sign because Cleveland used to always go out and they would waste money signing all these guys that didn't work out there. Maybe they're learning maybe they'll actually try to do this through the draft, try to draft better players, not rely on free agency. But
Well,
I mean,
Cleveland's in a bad spot because these last couple years of that Deshaun Watson deal are the highest numbers against the cap out of all the years of that deal. I mean,
yeah,
that
that's
all
fully
the year,
guaranteed.
it was a fully guaranteed deal, but I think that the cap hit goes for like 70 something million and then like 80 something million next year.
I just saw too. I can't remember who it was, but a running back got traded or something to Houston.
Yeah, it was David Montgomery from the Lions.
And you already they already had
They
three other
released
running backs.
they released Mixon already.
Did they really?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
after-
dude,
he
I
didn't-
mean, he spent
Was there
all
2
last
seasons?
year. Yeah, he they had him 2 seasons, but in his first season he was solid. He started out good last year and he got hurt. I think it was a foot injury, but it kept
No, he
him
didn't
out all
play last
year.
year. Yeah, he didn't play at all
Oh.
last year.
I think he got hurt in the preseason then.
I drafted him, and he never ever played at all last season. He was on. There was
Yeah.
talks that he may come back by October, then he never did. So that was one of those things where I was like, "You got Mixon." And dude, just a couple years ago, when he was killing it. That's why he signed that big deal in free
Yep.
agency to go there because he had killed it. So that's running backs in this league. That's why it's one of those things with Breece Hall. It's like, shit, man. Like, you wouldn't mind keeping him, but there's a box. There's a box with a dollar sign that you feel comfortable with him, and he's wanting to not only exceed that, but to far exceed it. And it's just like, man, like I even feel like paying him $14 million for one season is not good. Just
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I don't feel comfortable with that. This is not a guy that he struggled at times, and then with that knee injury, you constantly just worry about it, and it's just one of those things. But that's running backs in this league. Like you're going to see the last of the greats are like, yeah, that you could pound the ball with the Saquons, the Henrys. Those guys are like Cook right now is one of the best up in Buffalo. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
man, you just don't see that anymore. Those guys that can play a full season of being the lead back constantly, you're not going to see that anymore. And those guys are wanting to get paid, and unfortunately, as crazy, they're not worth it. It's crazy, but all right,
That's
boys.
crazy.
Man,
I seen that Isaiah Likely, former Raven, went and joined John Harbaugh in the in New York. He got 3 years, 40 million.
one of the other running backs there, Mitchell, they were talking about him. I think he's a free agent of some sort.
Yeah. Yep. I'm
But
sure you're gonna the Ravens you're gonna see a major transformation of that team. Like it's gonna be a totally different team than it was under Harbaugh, I think, man. And if Lamar
terrible.
becomes
It's gonna be terrible.
probably, man. And if Lamar is that locker room cancer, then they'll cut ties with him because he's not locked into that shit like Harbaugh was handcuffed to him. They'll send his ass away and get some high draft picks for him, and they'll probably end up choosing the coach over him this time.
Man. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm wondering like where Jeremiah Love is going to fall in the draft right now, because two of the teams that look like they could draft him, Kansas City and the Saints, are no longer.
Vinny ain't going to now.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Neither are the Saints. So it's just like
I don't know where I don't know where Tennessee's at in the draft, but I could see them taking him.
Yeah, because their number one was Pollard last season.
Yeah.
That was I don't know where they were. They weren't great last year. So I think that they're right behind the Jets in drafting, but they have so many other holes. Like they just paid a third string wide receiver in DeWall Robinson $78 million. So Like they have other needs, and I just don't know if everybody needs a running back, but I just don't know, man.
I mean, they're still relying on who is it down there in Tennessee? Is it Julio Jones? Is that their number one down there?
No.
What?
No. No. He said
All right.
Julio Jones is number one.
What he said?
He said,
Well, whoever it is, I think he came from the Falcons.
no, Calvin
I'm telling
Ridley.
you, Calvin Ridley. My bad. See, I knew what I was talking about, but it was just a different guy. So
Julio did play there not long ago, though. So
yeah,
But,
but
I
yeah,
mean-
Calvin Ridley. And I think Calvin Ridley's been his career's been riddled with injuries and shit too. So if you're going to end up sticking Wan'Dale Robinson as your number one receiver, goddamn, I don't see that be going very far, man.
oh shit, I just realized that because the other day the Titans traded with the Jets, and we sent Jermaine Johnson, our former first round defensive end. He was the guy that year that we drafted. Sauce Gardner and Wilson. He was a third first round draft pick, and we traded him away to the Titans. So now the Titans starting defensive ends are, well, I think they're talking about moving Jermaine Johnson back to linebacker and then John Franklin Myers at edge. So, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's the first day of free agency was awesome. There's still some big names out there. There's still some guys that are like the Rams.
I'm interested.
I'm pretty sure the Rams. You what?
Well, when we were talking about the winners and losers, I very well could have put the Bears as some of the losers, man, because the needs that they have, they didn't address the way they needed to. Like they should have attacked this pass rusher thing, and they haven't done it. We brought back Braxton Jones, which I'm okay with, but there's guys out there like Taylor Decker, things like that they probably would have cost us a lot more money though. So I don't know. It's just one of those deals that, the Bears are in a window right now, man. We're a couple years away from having to pay Caleb, and our wide receivers are on rookie deals and all that shit. And we're already backed up against the cap. So when the time comes that we got to pay Caleb and all that shit, we're going to have to tear this shit down. And I just don't think that they look at it like they're in that window right now, man.
The Jets are always in a tear down.
Yeah, you guys just
Listen, I'm pretty sure
guys-
the Rams have said fuck the draft. Like the Rams, like I think you told me that earlier, that they have traded away 9 out of their last 10 first round draft picks.
Yep.
And they're doing
I think the Rams look at it as though the draft, there's better value in the mid to late rounds, and they would rather trade that first round pick away and get a proven veteran than spend big money on a first round pick that could come in and be a bust.
Yeah. But I tell you, the money is shooting up for these players. And like I said, we're seeing guys that are subpar at best at positions, and they're getting these big deals. And it's insane to me, some of these deals that they're getting. And like I said, I think that the Bears made some good moves. I think getting Kobe Bryant from Seattle, I think that was a good move for you guys. So I mean, I see some good things.
I agree with that, but I also think that we probably should have went ahead and locked up Byard before we signed any type of safety, just because when we paid now Kobe Bryant, Byard's going to want at least that amount of money. You know what I mean? So,
well, Bennett, you asked us. Let me ask you: who do you think? What team was the big winner today?
The Chiefs. Chiefs with assign that running back, solidifying the running game. That definitely put them over the top. They're back in title contention now. As long as Mahomes is healthy when the season starts, that just does wonders for him. It really does. Like they're with Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. I don't care who else you got on the outside. You add in the running game that makes them liable right there. That makes them legit. And the biggest loser, in my opinion, might be a shocker to you guys. It's the Ravens. Lamar Jackson and Crosby, both playmakers. Like I said a while ago, just because you have two playmakers, one side or the other, doesn't make you a Super Bowl contender. And that's what they thought they got. That's what they thought that they did. When they solidified that and they lost those draft picks, they got Crosby, hell of a player. Jackson, hell of a player. That doesn't make your team.
Yeah.
And they already had a decent team, but that doesn't make it. That don't put it over the top. They didn't make the playoffs last year. I don't think they'll make the playoffs this year with what they did. So they better do something in the late rounds that stands out. Otherwise, I don't see it.
Another team that was really good last year. We didn't see them.
Is that division is terrible. The whole division is terrible. So there's no reason why they shouldn't make the playoffs. Steelers, the Browns, the Bengals. The Bengals ain't got Burrow for 17 fucking games. They're terrible.
All right.
So
Yep.
if they can't make the playoffs, if they can't make the playoffs with what they got already, then I don't know what to tell them.
I'll tell you what, another team, though, that did well last year that didn't do any moves today that I saw, the only thing I seen them was to cut the receiver, and that's the Patriots. I saw nothing from the Patriots today.
Yeah. I tell
And,
you, another team that could be considered a losing team today, and it's for obvious reasons that we've discussed, would be the Steelers, like Bennett's talking about. But the Steelers should have addressed their quarterback situation. When you're locking in two big-time receivers like that, you got to have somebody to get them the ball.
I think if you got Rodgers on your roster or anywhere in your building, you're held hostage. That's it. You're held hostage to what he wants
But he's
to
not
do.
on the roster. That's the thing, and they don't know if he's coming back. So they should have went out and signed an insurance policy today.
But he gets his feelings hurt real easy. You go sign a quarterback, and then you're gonna hurt somebody's feelings.
Yeah,
we're
that's
still
true.
handcuffed by him because we're still paying out.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, that dude is not. That's not a team player.
Yeah, no, I agree. Absolutely.
He should go and tell the Steelers that I'm not coming back, or I am coming back. He should tell them something by now,
Yeah.
so they can make their way and figure it out.
You saw the dance that he did with them last year, man. He drugged them out for a while. So
Yeah, dude's not a good. He's not a good human being.
They said he still he wants to retire in Minnesota, and they said if Minnesota were to make the call, he would sign there today. But Minnesota's not picking up the phone, so
Fuck it.
I wouldn't pick up the phone.
On it for almost an hour and a half. So.
Beat him over the head with it.
Yeah, it's almost an hour and a half, guys. We got to shut this shit down. Nobody's going to watch this long of a video.
All right. Well, let's get back together soon. Let's do some more free agency talk, man. We got the draft coming up. We're going to break down some division talk, but it's good to get on here.
The actual season starts on Wednesday. So I'm sure there'll still be plenty of news popping off. You'll see trades and signings and all that. So if we can try to do this shit by like early next week, man, we'll have a lot to talk about. So
all right. Anything else to say, Ben, before we go?
Go Ravens, because they're gonna need it.
Hell yeah. All right, boys, let's do it soon again, man. It's been another edition of the Worst Case Scenario.
All right, love you, boys. Love you, people. Peace.
Boogity woogity.
All right.